Hi, Ryan Rumpf. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, Ryan.
So my name's Ryan Rumpf. I've been in education for 20 years, well, a little over 20 years now, mostly in the world of English learners and English language development. I've worked in suburban, urban, private international schools, rural schools, at every level. And I was really driven to write this book after my experience as a principal of a Newcomer Center. And, the first time I saw the Newcomer experience, it was shocking. You see the kids and you want to help them so bad, and they're in school for 7 hours a day, and you're just wondering, how much are we learning here? I had the opportunity to design a Newcomer Center from scratch, and when we started, we said we're not going to do business as usual. Everything that we do is going to be intentional. We're going to love the kids. We're going to show them compassion, push them academically, because we're trying to catch a moving target here. So everything we did was super intentional. And after we got into it and we were doing it for a while, I said, this can really help other people. That's what motivated me to write the book, and here we are.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. What challenge are you aiming to address with your book that's in our school systems?
Yeah, so when I sat down to write the book, I really wanted to address the newcomer experience holistically, from a systems level all the way down to the classroom. In my time in schools, I see leaders, teachers, administrators, they genuinely want to do the right thing. They want to do right by their students. It's not too many of them are trained in second language acquisition or even the English language development. So there's this knowledge gap that's no fault of their own, because pre-service teacher, pre-service leader training just doesn't address this issue. So I wanted to look at it from a systems level. How can we design an experience where we provide a soft landing for the students? We welcome them, we help them feel like they belong in the school, but also design a meaningful system where we know that they're growing just as much as everybody else, where we're squeezing as much learning as we can out of that school day as we can. And that comes from the leaders, that comes from the system. So then we take it down to the classroom level. Okay, so now we're teaching biology, and now we're teaching math, now we're teaching, real academic content, grade level content to students who are not proficient in the language of instruction. And, how can we do that? What tools exist? What ideas seem to have worked? What ideas don't work? And really look at everything, look at the system holistically. The classroom teachers, they got a full plate. That the challenge of a classroom teacher today is significant, and newcomers, they'll sit there, they're quiet, they behave usually, so they're very easily overlooked. When I sat down to write the book, I said, how can we do this in an intentional way from the top all the way to the classroom?
What are some other points that catching the moving target might help address in our schools?
If we want to set the students up to where they have a realistic chance of catching that target, right? It moves every year. The content, it continuously gets more difficult. The language demands continuously get more difficult. That target's moving every year. There's three main takeaways I could say is, first is that soft landing I mentioned. Those kids need to feel like they belong. The families need to feel like they're supported. So doing things, low-hanging fruit, just what do our schools look like? Does it have the feel of a diverse student body? Are we giving kids a chance to see the school before they start? Do we have a place that the families can go to enroll in person? Because enrollment forms are usually in English. So those low-hanging fruit that we can do as a system to welcome the families and get them started off on the right foot on day one. The next big one is a mastery-based approach to instruction and assessment. We learned very, very quickly that an August to May curriculum just won't work. It just won't. Newcomers don't all come in August. They come throughout the year. Skills build on each other throughout the year. And a mastery-based approach addresses that. It also addresses the wide gap of prior learning experiences. So you have some kids who come to school and they have a very quality former education, academically gifted perhaps. You have some kids who didn't have those opportunities and they're learning a different set of skills. So in a mastery-based system, the kids are starting right in the middle of the zone of development and working as quickly as they can to catch that target. And the last one is AI tools that are available now, because you can't hide from it. AI is everywhere. And we were really right there when it all started happening. How can we use AI to break down those traditional barriers? We want the kids to be able to use and continue to develop their native language, but the teacher can't be proficient in 10 languages. How can we use AI to give the kids an opportunity to show us what they know? How can we use AI to really help the kids understand exactly what they need to be learning? Half the battle with a newcomer is them understanding exactly what it is we want them to learn. So if we could integrate like blended learning, instructional videos, all of those could be used with AI to make it accessible to the students. So those would be the three, the soft landing, the mastery-based system, and then using modern technology.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much. Can't wait to read your book. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your expertise with us.
Yeah, absolutely.